Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again in this YouTube astrological segment. I'm going to be talking about Mercury, sextile, or trine Mars in a natal chart. Now, first off, some of you may remember when I first started my YouTube astrology channel, I did a series on the aspects in a natal chart. They were a little bit concise, and some people may have referred to them as snappy. So what I decided to do was make another series on them in which the videos would be a little bit longer and more descriptive. So anyway, first thing up is, well, if you have Mercury, sextile, or trine Mars in a natal chart, it may manifest in where it's very auspicious communications, which is Mercury, with sexual partners, which is Mars. Now, let's say if you have Mars in Aquarius as an example, you have sexual partners, maybe actually one or more, maybe Aquarius, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant person, or embody those characteristics. It could be people that are very eclectic or unorthodox, ingenious, unobtrusive, considerate, non-conforming, rebellious, as some examples. If you have Mercury, let's say another example, if you have your Mercury in Gemini, there may be conversations about, manifold subjects and speaking, very articulate, manner. It could be, personal to, having the Mercury in Gemini, it could have a versatile mind and ability to understand, virtually any subject and talk about those matters as well. Now, also, too, another way these aspects may be expressed in the natal chart is that it could be easy to talk about and also just articulate, which is Mercury, the things that drive and motivate you, which is Mars. Let's say if Mars is in Scorpio as an example, things that drive and motivate you may simply be tied into transformation, rebirth, regeneration. It could be occult subjects, including astrology, digging deep, going beyond subterfuge and superficiality as some examples. And also, too, if you have, one of these aspects, Mercury, sextile, or trine your Mars in the natal chart, you may readily take action, which is Mars, in matters associated with siblings, cousins, and neighbors, which is Mercury. Now, let's say, for example, if Mercury is in the zodiac sign Cancer, one or more of these siblings, cousins, and neighbors may actually, be a Cancer, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant person, or embody those characteristics. It could be, those that are sympathetic, nurturing, caring, dedicated, devoted, tenacious, introverted, protective, as some examples. If you have your Mars, say, in Aries as an example, it could be, taking action. Actions may be done in a very quick, rapid, spontaneous type manner with little hesitation or procrastination. Mars in Taurus may be more plotting and deliberate and methodical in one's actions, as another example. And another way, Mercury, sextile, or trine Mars in a natal chart may manifest is generally having, that energy and vitality, which is Mars, for short journeys, which is Mercury. Now, let's say if you have your natal Mercury, in Pisces, short journeys may be very convoluted. They could be, ones, which I would say maybe going to, mystical places, or, taking short journeys to places connected with the metaphysical, which includes astrology. It could be ones, maybe you get lost a little bit more than the average person. If Mercury is in Scorpio as another example, short journeys may be tied in, might simply be secretive, or going to places, connected with the supernatural or the occult, which includes astrology. Could be very mysterious, type of place they're going to, like horror houses, like those ones they have during Halloween, time, and things that nature. Mercury in Gemini could be going, to a variety and manifold places, and just simply, to learn in just a lot of different, could be places just to become more learned in many different subjects. So those are some examples. Now, another thing about, the Mercury sextile or trine Mars in a natal chart and how it may manifest could be where you may easily find the enthusiasm, which is Mars, for doing Mercury-related things, including communication, writing, things that involve manual dexterity. Whether it would be, such as working on automobiles or refrigerators, being a mechanic for those things, as some examples. And Mercury's in Pisces. It could be, writing things that are about, poetry, or it could be doing, could be fictional fantasy writing, or the metaphysical, which includes astrology, as some examples of Mercury's in Aquarius. As another example, it could be writing, things connected with science fiction, innovation, writing about astronomy, astrology, computers, electronics, aviation, meteorology, as some other examples. Now, also too, Mercury sextile or trine Mars in a natal chart could manifest in having little difficulty in terms of analyzing, which is Mercury, Mars related subjects, whether it could be war, the military, sports, sex, and even anger. Now, if Mars is in Scorpio, it might be more of a psychological side of these subjects, as far as, like, say, sex as an example, and how psychology would be tied into that, or, going deep into matters with anger, as far as why people become angry, as a reflection of their own, inadequacies, as an example. And also, too, these aspects, Mercury sextile or trine Mars in a natal chart can be propitious for being alert. I'd say that would be connected with Mars when driving, which is Mercury. So there may be a less propensity for car accidents with these aspects as opposed to most others, on average. And it could be a good aspect for just being more cognizant of having awareness when you are, driving your when you're driving. If you have Mercury in Taurus, driving may be done, in a very prudent and, more slow, deliberate manner anyway, which of course would help. Mercury in Capricorn, may be very, premeditative and really planning, trips out very well, and be cautious as well in their driving. But anyway, another thing too is that people that have these aspects may excel, I would say, possibly in combat sports, because you have a good blending, the positive relationship of the hands, which is Mercury, and even fighting ability, which is Mars. So you have the good aspect, the relationship with this energy. And say if Mars is in Aquarius, the person may be, he may actually be able to fight on a very advanced, almost ingenious, kind of level. I know a couple people that have, Mars in Aquarius, and they are very, proficient in terms of combat and fighting, and their technique in that. Now, another thing too is that these aspects may also be positive in terms of being independent, which is Mars. During your early education, or doing your assignments, that you're supposed to, without asking, for, tremendous amount of help. And the thing is, you have, let's say, if Mercury is in Cancer, it might be, doing these things, but having a mind that can, be, can go somewhat methodically, but very retentive in terms of, retaining the information, and things that have to be done during this time in one's life, in one's early, education. If Mercury is in Capricorn, say, maybe an early, the early education may have been one where the person showed a lot of, consistency and had a lot of structure and discipline. And also too, these aspects can be auspicious in terms of communicating, which is Mercury, in a way that is direct, which is Mars, without coming across as being overly, abrasive or brusque. And if you have Mercury, say, in a rather, tactful sign such as Libra, that would help, that as well, because Mercury and Libra can be very, tactful and diplomatic in their communications. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying, stay well.